Hello there, I am Chris Palmer, and in today's local SEO video, what I would like to share with you is a SOP, or a way that you can start crafting and creating your internal location pages into winners. So I don't want to waste any time. I want to guide you through this process so you can start scaling out your locations for your top services without hesitation. So before I get into this, I want to point out chrispalmermarketing.com for any type of SEO service needs. We have you covered. With that out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about a project that we're working on now. So what I want to guide you through here is creating and crafting what I call winner pages. So let's take John here. John is an appliance repair. He offers a magnitude of different services. He does refrigerator repair. He does ovens. He does small appliances, large appliances. He does big appliances. He has all types of services. He does all of these here: refrigerators, dryers, stoves, Sub-Zero, Wolf, air conditioners, heating repairs. The list goes on and on. But at the end of the day, primary keyword is appliance repair. Of course, on the website, we would like to talk about these secondary services or these other services that we offer. But the primary keyword that we're going after, appliance repair plus location. So what I want to walk you through here is how we can create what I call a winning. So first and foremost, we need to determine, out of the locations that you are providing your service in, which location has the highest competition. For this particular individual or this particular company, it just so happens to be inside of Fayetteville. Fayetteville is located in Georgia. So when we're crafting or creating our winning, the initial makeup of the page is going to be crafted from the hardest area. Because generally, if we can craft a page that has the right word counts and headers and images in the hardest area, generally it will carry over very well to other locations. Here's what I mean by this. Here's what I mean by crafting and creating a winning page. Let's take Fayetteville, for instance. So if we want to rank for Fayetteville, we want to rank for appliance repair, Fayetteville, Georgia. We scroll on down the page and we can quickly see that we have Angie's List and Yelp. These are directories. These aren't companies that look like us. The first person that we find on the list is this company here, and then Dependable, right? So these are the top two performing pages. So the very first thing in creating a winning location page is we need to determine our word counts. So what we would like to do is we like to figure out, okay, this is a top performer. I'm using a Chrome extension called SEO. Inside of SEO Quake, it will quickly lay out the word counts and also the densities. Free Chrome extension. So we can see here that one of the top performers here, Sears Home Services, has 1,600 words. The next top performer in Fayetteville has a amount of 610 words. We're going to grab one more particular person, which is DC. Okay, one more company. We're going to grab one more company here in order to establish an average. So the next one is going to be 700 words. So very quickly we can understand that we have 1,600 words plus 800 words plus 700 words equals 3,100. We divide that by the 3 sites. We have 1,000 words, 1,050. So somewhere between 1,000 and 1,500 is where we want to be. All right, so check. We want to go ahead and mark that down. So we know that we need 1,500 words. We need about 1,000 to about 1,500 words. The very next thing that we need to establish is, well, how many headers, heading tags, do these competitors generally have? Well, when we take a quick look utilizing a free Chrome extension, you could use SEO Meta in one click, or you can go ahead and utilize a tool called SEO Pro extension by Marketing Syrup. These are both free Chrome extensions that you can go ahead and get. I'm not sponsored. They're just free. They're cool tools. But if we take a look here, we can see that this top performer here has 29, 30, 31, 32 headers. This next person here has 24, 26, 27 headers. So we have a 30 and a 24. The next thing here is going to be 1, 2, and 3. All right. So we're looking at doing the same exact thing. We need to come up with an average. 26, 24, 4 equals, divide that by the 3 sites, 18 headers. 18 headers is where we want to be at, right? Somewhere in the range of 18 headers. Now, something that I've quickly understood when utilizing SEO, there's always a range. You can usually half that, and you can go 9 to 18, all right? So we know it's going to be 9 to 18 headers. So we know that the H1 is going to contain the primary keyword, so appliance, repair, plus city. That's always going to be the H1. The title is going to be appliance, repair, plus city, right? So we have title, H1, description. Again, I'm trying to put this, it's always going to contain brand plus keyword, okay? Keyword. So we have our title, H1, and meta description. The good rule of thumb is we want to have 1 per 1,000 words. So if the going rate is probably about 1,500, let's say it's 2,000, we want to have at least 2 images. 2 images, we have our description, title, and H1, and we know we need 1,000 to 1,500 words. The next element that we need to know is, well, how many of the headers contain the primary keyword or a variation thereof? So let's go ahead and take a look at that. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at that. We're going to look and see, hey, how many headers contain the keyword? 1, we're going to count them up. A good rule of thumb generally is going to, but I strongly urge you at taking a look at the top performing websites, see how many headings need to be optimized. For this, so I don't have to waste any time here, we already know that 60% of the headings contain a keyword. That's 60% optimized. So if we have 9 or we have 18 headings, 9 of them need to be tuned. Okay. Now, once we are armed with this information, we know our word count, we know how many headers, we know what our H1 title, description, we know how many images, and we know how many headers need to be tuned. There's one more element. On average, in the hardest area that you want to target, how many times are they generally utilizing the keyword? And this is without using any tools, just utilizing your eyes and manually checking to see what do these companies have. So we can come in here and quickly understand that appliance and repair, we're looking at a 3 and a 5. Let's go in here, appliance and repair, 5 and a 2, right? We're starting to see a range. And we can come in here, appliance and repair. So we have a 3 and a, so we know that the range is between about 3-5% density for the primary keyword and their variation. We want to probably get in that range. So we don't want to start off on the high range. We want to start off on the low range. So I would always recommend starting at the lower. So let's say it's going to be a 2.5% density for the primary keyword. So appliance, the word repair, the word repairs, right? Primary keywords, and then of course the location. Once we've been armed with this information, the next step is let's take this information and craft our winning. How is this done? We know the amount of words. We know the headers. We know what our H1 title, description, and how many images we need. We know what the primary amount of headers that need to be optimized, and we know what our average density is for the keywords that are really driving the page. So the next element is going to be crafting that winning page. We start developing that winning page. Let's come back over here and let me share with you what we start doing then. Come into here. Let me go back in here to Duda. We're still working on this particular project for this gentleman. Bear with me 1 second. Come inside of here. Once we have crafted our winning page, come in here. Let's say it's going to be Fayetteville. Start with Fayetteville. For you, of course, it's going to be different. It could be also a different service. The very first thing that we need to understand is that we're going to have our page that's going to be made up of roughly about 1,200 to 1,500 words. The next piece is going to be, we know that we need X amount of headers, right? So 1H1, and we're going to have X amount of headers. We just did the math together, right? The next element is we need to know what the density is. Hey, how many times are they using specific keywords in the text, right? So we've made the right amount of headers. You still have to write the content, of course. But now we have a winning page. We're going to go copy, all right? And you could do this inside of your builder, or you could do this inside of the text, right? You could do it in the builder. You could do it in a text document. But now we can start. We have our winning piece of content, right? We have the word count. We have our density. We know how many headers need to be tuned. We know how many densities of the primary keywords we need inside. We've crafted our winning page for one location. So how do we make it for other locations? There's 2 things that you need to do. One is we need to go in here and create variations utilizing the secondary locales. What I mean by this is you're going to gather up your location pages. This particular company or business, we know that they want to target these areas here. We have Fayetteville, Peachtree, Hampton, Tyrone, Riverdale, Jones, right? The list goes on and on. Every instance that you utilized Fayetteville, you're going to swap for Peachtree City. And every instance that's swapped, now we have our Peachtree content. We're going to do the same thing for Hampton. Every instance that we utilize the word Fayetteville, we're going to swap out and make it Hampton. And then it goes on and on. We're going to do Tyrone, we're going to do Riverdale, we're going to do Jonesboro, we're going to do them all. The reason why we're able to utilize this is because when we're targeting different SERP, Fayetteville and Peachtree City are 2 separate SERPs. So that's why when we're utilizing utilizing different location information and modifiers inside of the title, H1 and all of our other tags, and also the density of that primary keyword, that location, is high, we're able to not compete with ourselves. We're talking about local SERPs. This isn't affiliate, this isn't e-com, this is local. These are two separate SERPs. Appliance repair in Fayetteville is different than appliance repair in Riverdale. We're able to utilize that same content, but there is still some variation that needs to be done. Talk about that right now. So what we like to do is, instead of muddying the page or making too much extra work, what we like to do is we also like to create a FAQ, or a frequently asked questions, or people also ask, or a Q&A, whatever you want to call it. We're going to utilize some of the fact schema so we can not only take up more space in the SERP, but we can also get some geo-relevant information in. So here's how this is done. What we're going to do is we're going to develop a set of questions between two. So some of the questions could be, all right, and I made a quick example here. Question is, John Heating and Cooling Appliance Repair offers services in blank location. The second question would be, what is location? You can generally do 2 or 3 of these questions, which will then be added into the FAQ of the page. If you're unsure of how to create FAQ, or you're struggling with this, what you can quickly do is you can look for technical SEO schema generator. All right, there's one online that's completely free. technicalseo.com, you come right over here, and they make it so easy for us to generate this text. So you come in here and you find FAQ. The question is, this right here, we're going to gather up our info. Let me grab it for you so I can give you a quick. So does heating and cooling offer these services in this area? Copy that, bring it over to our generator. Here's the question. Then you write your answer. When you're done, you grab this script and you can either put it into the head or into the body of your text. Have an HTML widget if you're using WordPress, you can add it in there, or you could quickly add it into the head. So not only now will we have piece of information or content that is going to be able to target multiple SERPs for the same keyword. Now we've been able to create multiple pieces of content that can target these locations very easily. We can get those pages up and into the SERPs. And then also within our schema, we're able to make the pages geo-relevant. Add in some Q&As. We're adding some is going to be relevant to the location, because we don't want to throw the density off on the page talking about ice cream shops and what's popular. No, put it into the schema. This makes the page overall relevant for the location, and it makes it unique for that keyword plus location. Let me tell you about the next step. You launch and create all of these pages. At the end of the day, they are very similar to one another, right? Right. So once they are launched, after you resubmit your sitemap in Google Search Console, created your sitemap, you've resubmitted it, you've gotten the content searched and crawled, you've gone over to Search Console. So if you don't have Google Search Console, I advise that you created your sitemap, you submit your sitemap to Google and to Bing, you get everything crawled and seen and indexed or into the search results. If your page is not already competing on page 2 or at the bottom of page 1 after you launch, after some time, then you want to start going in there per location and re-optimizing based on the top performer. What I mean by this is, if I come over here to Peachtree, this is another location, crafted the content based on the biggest area. We go into we baited on Fayetteville. We go to Peachtree Appliance Repair. If our page isn't already competing, we need to go back in and re-optimize our page based on that locale if it's not competing already. And generally what we want to look at is, do we need to fix the headers? Do we need to add more variations of the keyword? Do we need to take away some words? Do we need to add some words? We want to go back in and re-optimize that page to fit the SERP a little bit better. But in order to scale quickly into these locations for primary keywords plus area, this is the fastest way to do it. Once you have your pages up, once you see where Google rewards them, is it bottom of page 2? Is it top of page 2? Is it bottom of page 1? Where did you land? Are you on page 1 or page 2? Yes or no? If you're not, you need to go back in and re-optimize those pages until you hit, you're either top of page 2 or bottom of page 1. If you're not there yet, then your on page isn't right. Once you have your on page right, then you can start looking at and building links. So this is how you create and craft a winning location page. My name is Chris Palmer. If this is just too much and you want someone to handle it for you, check us out at chrispalmermarketing.com. If you need help with this or anything else SEO related, never hesitate. Feel free to ask any and all questions below. I answer them all. If you have anything that I can help you with, anything at all, reach out. I'd love to help you. And of course, I look forward to seeing you in the next Local SEO, how to create and craft a winning location page. Have a blessed day. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.